Hello and welcome to Walt Disney World.
Hello.
So we are here at the Polynesian. See the little cute thing there?
Stitch.
And today we are doing a video for all of you who need to have a short time in the park. Maybe you have a stamina issue, maybe you need to take a lot of naps, and you really just can't do a rope drop to fireworks kind of day,
yes.
but you still want to get in all the fun. And so we want to talk about both free options that are available for people with disabilities as well as paid options that you can use to maximize your park day.
Today we're going to talk about the 4 services that are available for users with disabilities. There is wheelchair return time. There is DAS, which is Disability Access Service. You have individual lightning lanes. And then you have Genie Plus.
Exactly.
I knew that.
So the first two, the DAS and the wheelchair return times, these are systems for people with disabilities. The second two, Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes, are available to anyone for a price. Later today, we're going to shoot a video about those 4 services and how they're different and how they interact. So we're not going to cover that here. We were going to be posting that video before we post this one. So go ahead and check our channel for and you'll see the video where all 4 are explained. But today we are going to see how many things we can pack into a short period of time using these services, essentially maximizing these services to do as much as possible in a short period of time. Adam is eligible for the Disability Access Service, not because he uses a wheelchair, but because of other medical concerns that come along with it. And so we did register for the Disability Access Service last week in advance so that we could get advanced DAS selections. When you register in advance, you're allowed to pick 2 rides or attractions per day in advance, and you have time slots that you can use them in a 1-hour window. And so for today, we're going to Magic Kingdom, and we selected Mickey's PhilharMagic and Haunted Mansion. We selected both of those in the evening because we knew that we are not morning people, and we figured we would rather have those
slow.
Yes, we wanted to have those saved for night, and so those are the 2 that we picked. And then what did we do this morning?
We got up at 7 a.m. and we did our individual lighting lanes and
Genie Plus.
Exactly.
So we are staying on property, which means that we are able to select Genie Plus options at 7 a.m. as well as individual lightning lanes at 7 a.m.
Virtual queue.
And our virtual queue.
Yes.
So we did the virtual queue first because those goes the most quickly.
Really fast. You have to be up really
early.
early.
And, if you book with me, Brooke at Vacation with the Magic, I will help you walk through how to make sure that you get those, because there are some secrets in order to get through that.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and booked our virtual queue for TRON. We got group 80. And then we also purchased 2 individual lightning lanes.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And we did
TRON.
TRON?
Yes, so we did 2 TRONs. So we'll get to ride it twice today. Once probably during the day and once at night, and it's better at night. So if you're going to buy it at night. We purchased Genie Plus.
And then we selected the Festival of Fantasy Parade for our first Genie Plus selection, which honestly isn't the best option for wheelchair users because there's separate seating already, but I wasn't thinking about that at 7 in the morning. I hadn't even had coffee yet.
By the time we get into the park, we have 6 things in the queue, ready for us to go.
Yeah.
Once we officially enter the park, we will get a DAS. Usually we look for something that has a long line, figuring that we'll go ahead and get that clock started on that. And then we will also go ahead and get a wheelchair return time for one of the rides that we know doesn't have an accessible queue. So today we're looking at either Jungle Cruise or Big Thunder Mountain. We'll see you in the park. It's time for the parade, so we are here waiting for the parade to start.
Yes. Lightning lane for parade.
Yeah. So
we still got about maybe 5 minutes or so. I think we hear the music is going right now, so yeah, it's gonna come from that way. That is
literally the best part of the parade.
We just finished doing our DAS intro, and so now we're about to head to the plaza Crystal Plaza? Crystal Palace?
No, not Crystal. We're going to the Plaza.
We're going to the Plaza.
Yes,
to have
we're going to
lunch.
the Plaza. I've always wanted to have lunch at the Plaza here. You can see the castle, and it just looks really nice inside. So, but we've never eaten there, so we're going to do that now.
So we just left the Plaza. It was our first time going to the Plaza for any type of sustenance, stuff that goes in your belly. So food. And so they were struggling today. And unfortunately, there's like several mistakes on like just orders and things like that.
Why don't you talk about what you got?
Oh, I decided to get the loaded French fries, and it comes with bacon, and I don't eat bacon, and so I asked, omit the bacon. And so I'm eating my food, and about halfway through, I noticed there's bacon in it. Couldn't finish that. I asked him, could he do something else? I didn't want to order another one because it wasn't very good at all.
And they did take that off the bill, so we didn't actually have to pay for that. So that was a good.
Yeah, the manager came, or I guess the head person came over, said, I'm sorry about that, would have liked anything else. And like, okay, I may try a milkshake later, I don't know. My sandwich, I got a crab cake sandwich. I'm from Maryland, and so we kind of pride ourselves on good crab cake. Unfortunately, this was decent crab cake, but overall it was an okay sandwich. I would probably get it again if there was nothing else on the menu, but it would be my first choice again. So, yeah.
So I got the Waldorf salad, and
Yes.
without any adjustments. And at first, it was pretty bland until I realized that half the salad was missing. So it was apples, lettuce, and chicken, and the chicken was rubbery, so that was not great. It was also supposed to have
Pecans?
like candied
Grapes?
pecans, grapes, and celery.
Yeah.
And there should have been more dressing. Like, I mean, I don't use a lot of dressing, but like this is ridiculous. They brought me the rest of my salad,
Yeah.
and then it was much better, absent the rubbery chicken. The chicken was not good. I'm not going to pretend it was.
Not the milkshake. The milkshake was decent. Again, I would not order it again. Again, they've been off their game today because the milkshake was almost to the point where it was like warm. Like it was more than half melted by the time it got to me. So again, maybe today because it was raining outside, they was off their game altogether. Hopefully this is not a standard practice at the Plaza, and it's always like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
If
We've
you've
only
been to
been
the
there once.
Plaza, let us know in the comments below what your experience was, but I don't think we would go there again.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay inside, nothing super special. There are giant windows, as you can see here. You are
View, you
really
have a nice
aware
view.
that you're in Magic Kingdom, whereas
Yeah.
in most restaurants you're not, right? And so that was nice.
Yeah.
I always wanted to try it. I've tried it. Box has been checked. I don't know that I need to go there again, but it was
Yeah.
okay. It was,
Okay.
you know,
It was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, and now we are about to go do the first of our reservations. It is 4:07, and we are headed to TRON.
When we first got to the park, we had a reservation for the parade, but then quickly realized that we didn't need it, so we changed it to It's Small World. Here, I'm rescheduling our Small World return time because we knew that we were not going to make it in time. So we changed it to 5 o'clock so that we could get to our TRON reservation on time.
Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of TRON.
So we just got off our first ride of the day, TRON,
Which was always a fun ride to ride if you can ride it.
and we booked this via a virtual queue this morning at 7 a.m. And they called our virtual queue around 3:30. We were actually at lunch, and so
yeah.
we didn't actually ride until it was like 4:15 or something. And we learned a few things today.
Yes, we did. First off, we learned that if you come late or whatever after your time, just go up to a cast member and they will.
If you have a good reason, you can't just show up at any time. And in fact, TRON is more strict than other virtual queues because of the fact that people try to push it because everyone wants to ride it at night. It's better
Right,
at night.
yes.
And so we had a dining reservation. I did bring the
Seat
receipt,
from the dining thing?
and they could have asked me for it. They did it. They chose not to, but they could have, so be prepared. And then rather than a blue umbrella, I know we always say go to the blue umbrellas and they help you. we actually went all the way to the front of the ride, and there were some cast members with iPads right outside of the lightning lane, and that's
Right.
where we're going.
That's where they made changes that made sure I could get in back to the ride. So yeah.
Couple of accessibility notes. Number one, you cannot take a scooter into the queue.
No ECVs inside the queue.
Correct.
If you
And
have a-
it's a hike. So they do have wheelchairs available, but unless you have arm strength or a really strong person to push you, you might want to skip this one if you can't stand for about 15 minutes and walk.
Right,
And walk
until the-
uphill
yeah.
and downhill, because pushing a person in
Uphill.
a wheelchair uphill and
Much
downhill
harder
are both
than-
very difficult. And this is nothing but hills. Yes, I know this from experience. This is a really important ride for you, and you can't do the walk. Honestly, if you're coming to Magic Kingdom and you walking is a big problem for you, even for a short amount of time, consider a power chair, because that would let you go all the way through. So just, keep that in mind. But
Of course,
if
you have to transfer, but once
Yeah.
you get to the ride, you see the transfer from the power chair to the ride vehicle, which is a TAV. I think we've talked about that before. So yeah, so you should be able to go right up to the ride.
Gotcha.
They have two sides to the ride, so this is the first time we've gotten on the other side of the track, which was different, a little bit more experience, a little bit harder for me to get in, but I was able to get in.
Yeah, so we went to the right side, and that transfer was harder. And I asked them, I said, hey, if I had known this, could I have asked to go on the other side? And they said yes. So when you get to the bottom, if you need a certain side to transfer, and sort of look at our videos, and you'll be able to figure out all the videos that we have Adam transferring from the vehicle when you go to the left. So if that looks backwards for you, then ask if you can go to the right. Once you get to the bottom of the hill and it's a time to go into the transfer access vehicle, just ask, and if you have an issue, and they'll let you go one side or the other.
Okay.
Final
what else?
accessibility piece that is for everyone, not just for people in wheelchairs, is that they do have a recovery area. So if you get off and you're starting to feel a little dizzy, you need to sit down, you need a little water, they have a little area with a water fountain and a bench, and so you can ask to go sit down before you go back uphill a lot to where the lockers are and
Right, so
everything
it's
like that.
recovery area, because I didn't see. Maybe I saw it before, but I didn't recognize it.
I didn't notice it until
This
this
time
time.
I was like, oh, recovery area, what's that for? Then the cast members explain what the recovery area was and how it's used and stuff like that. So
there are screens, and so for those who are sensitive to screens, this might be an issue. This does not bother me the way that Guardians does, and a lot of people say that this ride isn't as intense. Maybe because it's like 25 seconds. I mean, I think it's actually 90 seconds, but by the time you're not feeling great, you're off.
It's intense.
But but if you are feeling it, then go ahead. So now we are going to head to our next ride, which I can't remember what it is, but our second ride of the day. So here we go.
Our next ride is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We booked this morning as a
Individual lightning lane
individual lightning lane
at 7 a.m.
at 7 a.m.
So, what?
Too early.
Well, I mean, yeah. But these, you cannot modify them. You cannot miss them. And, you will forfeit them if you miss your time slot. So be on time.
Hi-ho! Hi-ho!
It's home from work we go.
So next up is PhilharMagic. This is the first of our 2 advanced DAS selections. So with these, you have a 1-hour window in order to redeem them, and you must be on time. There's no extending them. They will just go away if you miss it. So you can't modify these. Unlike Genie Plus, you can keep modifying. You cannot modify these.
Right,
So
so
this
with
was the
advanced
first of our
DAS,
2.
yeah.
The other one was Haunted Mansion, and so which we haven't done yet. So we're gonna go ride that or go watch that now. Now it's worth noting that Mickey's PhilharMagic really isn't worth an advanced DAS or a lightning lane or Genie or anything like that, because you're really just waiting for the next ride. Unless the park was super crowded that day, sure, because you might have to wait for 2 shows. But otherwise, you're just waiting for the next show, so it doesn't really need that. However, we were trying to prove a point. because we wanted to see how many things we could do with using all the systems.
Buy the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes.
So next up is Winnie the Pooh. We booked this as a Genie Plus line midday, and when our 2 hours was up on the first one, and we actually were about 10 minutes late to this one, but
So
they
we're
do
still
have
scanning
a grace
buffer.
period of about 10 to 15 minutes, so we just made it in. This is another ride where ECVs cannot go through the queue, so if you're using a scooter or electronic conveyance vehicle, you're going to have to leave your scooter behind. And it is a bit of a wait. Like, we've been here about 10 minutes now, so, user beware.
Come bounce with me. The noodles, they feel honey. Still honey. Everyone gathered together to say,
It is 7 o'clock, and we stopped at Gaston's Tavern to get a snack because we were both tired. We are now going to head to our final 2 Genie selections in Fantasyland, Little Mermaid and Small World. So this is Ariel,
Journey to Under the Sea with Little Mermaid, I think.
yes.
So, welcome to the next day.
Yeah, yesterday was a long day. We overdid a little bit, but we got a lot done. And so we wanted to circle back and talk about how that went. So where we last left you, we had done advanced DAS, we'd done wheelchair return times, we'd done Genie Plus and lightning lanes and all of that. So park opened at 9 o'clock. Our first Genie Plus reservation was for 12:30, which was more than 2 hours away from park opening, which meant that at 11 o'clock, 2 hours after park opening, we were able to book another one. So we booked Buzz Lightyear. So that meant we had 9 things in the queue before we even, had done anything. So we got there, we did the parade, and then we shot the video about DAS Explained, which with the different options. And then we went and had lunch at Plaza Restaurant. And so by the time we were done, putzing around and doing all these things, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon before we hadn't even touched a ride, right? So at 4 o'clock, we're like, all right, let's go do some rides. And so we started on our list, and we got through quite a few. But because we were sort of dawdling as we were going, I was constantly changing our Genie Plus reservations.
Right.
So unlike DAS or wheelchair return times or individual lightning lanes, with the Genie Plus ones, you can modify them. Right. So that 12:31 then became 2:30, then became 3:30. As long as it hadn't expired, I could keep changing them. Time frame for a later date. It didn't reset the clock. Not a later date, later time. But it didn't reset the clock. So that meant that when, it had been 2 hours, I could get another one and get another one. So I was collecting Genie Pluses. I mean, I'd never used it that way before, and I was surprised at how flexible that system was in order, I kept because, we were just taking longer, we were shopping, we were doing things, it was raining, it was gross. A couple of times we just decided to go wait the rain out, so the day wasn't progressing the way we had expected, which is why it was 4 o'clock before we started anything. But I just was able to keep changing those times to go later. We had 4 hours of park time before, because around 8 o'clock, I wasn't feeling great, so we decided to go head out. So we had more we could have done. So in those 4 hours, we did our virtual queue and DAS for TRON.
Tron.
We did virtual queue for TRON, and then when you get there, they convert it to a DAS so that you can go through the lightning lane.
Right. So if you haven't seen our Tron video, there should have one up there for you to see.
Absolutely.
Check it out. It has all the stuff on there, how to go through the queue and stuff. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
We rode Seven Dwarfs Mine Train using our purchased lightning lane.
Yeah.
We did Mickey's PhilharMagic using our advanced DAS.
Yeah.
We did Winnie the Pooh, which we just grabbed a genie for throughout the day. We stopped for a snack. We did Little Mermaid. Already, that's a lot of things to do within 4 hours. Like, you're not gonna get that many things in 4 hours standing and waiting in standby lines. And then at 8 o'clock, we still had a ton of things we could have done. We still had a Monsters Inc. DAS that was valid. We still had our Jungle Cruise return time. We still had a Genie Plus for Small World because I kept moving it. We still had our Genie Plus for Buzz Lightyear because I kept moving it. We had our advanced DAS for Haunted Mansion, which we just didn't get to. And we had our TRON individual lightning lane. And now that one we paid for, but I did go to guest services and I let them know, like, basically I felt like I was going to be sick. And so I let them know that, and they did refund it for me. So I appreciated that. So we didn't waste any money on that one. But that's a ton. I mean, we could have gone another couple, and I think there was extended hours that day. So, like, we could have gone longer. That's a ton.
You can get a lot done. You can get a lot done if you plan it and stack it right. And call Brooke, and she will help you walk through that stuff to get it done. It's possible. Mm-hmm. If you only have a short amount of day here, we can help you try to plan it out to get everything done as you can. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about maybe packing the day. You can pack the day if you want, but if you don't need to, you can stack them and get them done.
Because truthfully, we probably could have knocked those things out in another 2 hours. So if you really are trying to pack in as much as possible, you can use those systems together and get a lot done.
Yeah.
I would say that if your primary need is to just get as much done as possible, Genie Plus is going to be a much better option than any of the others, because you're going to be able to just go through, knock them out. The other ones are helpful for needing to get through the day quickly, but certainly the most flexible option, if you're going to spend the money, is on Genie Plus. DAS is more about, like I said, being able to use your DAS and then wait other places. So you'll get a DAS, and then maybe you'll do filler attractions, right? Things that are ride-ons, walk-ons. That's going to be your best bet for using DAS for just sort of a nice normal day, right? So if you're just looking for a nice normal day, DAS is fine. You don't have to buy all these things. We get that question, but like, do I have to buy Genie if I have DAS? They're two different things.
They're two separate things. They can work together. Mm-hmm. They can work together if you plan it out right, but you don't have to have Genie Plus.
Yeah. But, DAS is there if you just cannot wait in a line and you need to wait somewhere else. If you really just need to get as much done as possible in a shorter period of time, Genie Plus is going to be your answer. We hope you found that helpful. If you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you are new to our channel, we are Brooke and Adam of Imaginary Lemons, and we do content about traveling with a disability. We do mostly Disney content right now. We are looking to expand into other things, but we talk about being in the parks, having a disability, and how to get on the rides, how to transfer, which rides you don't have to get out of your wheelchair. We are looking to be a resource for people who need that information in order to enjoy the parks. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this, please comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.